Actually, all good? We ready to roll? Alrighty. So, welcome everyone to our July 16th, 2025 Fiscal Court work session. Please join me in standing for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Alrighty, and now I'm going to invite Mr. Rome, who is here to give us a blessing tonight. Welcome, sir.
Thank you. Welcome. Thank
you. Go ahead and introduce yourself and maybe who you're here representing.
Yes, please. My name is David Rome, and I am a member of the Frankfurt Interfaith Council representing the Baha'i Faith. And I would be pleased to open the meeting today with a prayer from the Baha'i writings. O my God, O thou who endowest every just power with abiding glory and everlasting might, with permanence and stability, with constancy and honor, aid thou by thy heavenly grace every government that acteth justly toward its subjects, and every sovereign authority derived from thee, that shieldeth the poor and the weak under the banner of its protection. I beseech thee, by thy divine grace and surpassing bounty, to aid this just government. Assist, O my God, its hosts. Raise aloft its ensigns. Bestow influence upon its word and its utterance. Increase its honor. Reveal its signs, and unfurl its banner through thine all-subduing power and thy resplendent might in the kingdom of creation. Thou verily aidest whomsoever thou willest, and thou verily art the Almighty, the most powerful.
Thank you very much. That was beautiful.
Thank you.
Thank you, thank you. And before we begin, I'm going to go ahead and offer a moment of silence. I believe everybody probably knew Ted Collins. He was a past sheriff in this community for a long, long time. He was a past judge executive. So if everybody could join me in a moment of silence for Mr. Ted Collins, please. Thank you very much. Ted will be missed, and I know his funeral arrangements are on Friday. I know the sheriff has been working hard on that to make sure it's nice. So first, we're going to go ahead and jump into public comments. Before I open the floor up to public comments, I'm going to ask our county attorney to say a few words, please.
On tonight's agenda, there are several zone change proposals that are on as far as topics of discussion, whether it be a first reading or a second reading. Unfortunately, we won't be able to take any public comments regarding those particular zone changes, as the Fiscal Court is limited to considering what is on the record that has been passed from the Planning and Zoning Commission or what is done at a hearing of the Fiscal Court. So we won't be able to hear any comments regarding those particular zone changes from the public.
Okay, thank you.
Question
Yeah, go ahead.
about that. We've had some discussion in this court before about the public's right to speak on really anything that they want to in public comments. I'd like some clarification then in the statement that our county attorney just made. How are the public supposed to be able to come request us to make maybe a special hearing or something else if they don't feel that the Planning Commission made the appropriate argument in the recommendation to us? I would argue that they could speak at minimum on that behalf if they so desire, to ask the court to hold a special public hearing or other elements, as long as they're not providing testimony in the form of additional testimony that should have been part of the record of the Planning Commission. Could you clarify that for me?
I think comments regarding whether or not a hearing should be held are permissible. However, that is an absolutely slippery slope. And I will say the court needs to be cognizant of the position they stand in, not only as an executive body, but a judicial body when making these zone change decisions. So when we start talking about this court sitting as a judicial body, which it would be in these zone change decisions, the standards are different. It's not the acceptance of public comments unless it is done on the record. And so coming to a magistrate or, inviting people to make comments to you regarding these zone changes outside of a hearing or outside of what's on the record could potentially lead to the overturning or a court case regarding that decision later on. And so I would just caution everybody regarding that.
Does that answer your question, Spark?
It effectively says that if we have people that desire us to take up a public hearing on a zoning issue, I think they should be able to come speak to and request reasons why, if things maybe were not introduced as part of testimony that should be, or the body ultimately did not include something in a record. Let's say we've had one instance where some testimony was given to the planning commission and ultimately wasn't recorded as part of the record for that to be sent towards us. If something like that were to happen, I think that should be permissible to say. But
That absolutely is not. If it's not on the record, then the court cannot consider it.
it's a
So
basis for
if you're
hearing.
saying that we weren't able to give this evidence and we should have another hearing, that is absolutely what cannot be done. And so when we run into those situations, if you are taking those and taking that information that was not a part of the record and basing your decision on whether to approve or disapprove a zone change, that would make that subject to being overturned by a court. And so I would caution you not to do that.
But
So
what about,
anything outside of the record, either at a hearing by this court or at the Planning and Zoning Commission, that you're basing that decision on, is not permissible. And it's because of the function that the court is operating under for that particular thing.
what I'm trying to get at, Max, in what instances and what information would be permissible if residents want to ask us to hold a special hearing?
We believe you should have a special hearing, and we believe you shouldn't have a special hearing. And like I said, you all can choose to do whatever you want to do, but you are subject to making your decisions being overturned by a court should you all travel down those paths.
Max, can I
That's
ask a
all I'm-
question? So is it permissible if somebody just got up and said, I'm for this project or I'm against it?
That would be testimony.
Okay, that's fine.
Yeah.
I just want to
So it'd be-
clarify.
I think we should have a hearing. I think we should not have a hearing.
That's about all that could be said.
Correct.
And we're assuming and somebody's here to speak, so
And that's,
we're just trying to clarify.
and that's from that
Yeah.
decision that the Franklin Circuit Court did just several
Yeah.
years ago.
Go
You
ahead,
have to
Squire.
go what's on the record.
Squire Blackburn?
So I just want to
Yeah.
try to clarify it and dumb it down for me. If we have public comment, somebody can stand up and say, agenda item, whatever, 4, to consider approval or denial of this, I would like to ask that you all hold a public hearing. And
Correct.
that's it,
Correct.
and no testimony. And then we can consider what they said in that, whether we decide we should have a public hearing or not.
Okay.
Absolutely.
And then after that, if we do decide, then we can have public comments and all that stuff.
If you decide to have a
If we decide
hearing,
to have a public hearing.
then it would be the same process as eliciting
Right.
testimony.
That we've done before.
I just want to make it.
Yeah,
clear
no,
for
yeah,
everybody
yeah. Okay.
and for myself.
So, now I'm gonna open it up, or if somebody's here just to talk about whatever, if it's not a zone change, then you're more than welcome to get up and speak for 3 minutes. So, any public comments? Alrighty. Seeing none, I believe we have, the Franklin County Clerk, Deed, Sarah? Yep, yep. I was wondering why you guys were here. I was trying to figure it out, I was like, what are they doing here? How are you doing tonight? Would you
I'm
go ahead
good.
and please state your name and
All
who
right,
you
my
are
name
here?
is Sarah Gundy, and I'm from the Franklin County Clerk's Office. I work in the deed room. And we just wanted to bring to the public's attention things that they can do to help protect their homes and their businesses. Scammers are out there. They're trying to take properties. And our software management is the company that manages our online presence. They store all of our online records. They make e-clicks and c-clicks available for public to view deeds and things like that. But they have a thing in place called Doc Alert, and you can go on. It's very simple to sign up for it. You literally just put in your name, your email, and it registers you. So if anything happens in your name in that county, you would get an email notification. And it's for, again, business owners, homeowners, anybody that has any kind of concerns about their property. We have,
Is that free service?
it is absolutely free service. It takes less than 5 minutes to sign up. It's very simple, very safe, and it's just one way that you can help yourself and stay protected. They service software management services 82 counties as well as Franklin County, and this is something relatively new that they've put in place. And if you have any questions, anybody has any questions, you're welcome to call the deed room at the clerk's office and ask us questions. We can walk you through it if need be. If anybody's interested in these.
Is this something that we can obviously put on our social media and on our
Absolutely,
website?
absolutely. And there is a QR code if somebody
Yeah.
would rather just scan it and it takes
Okay.
it directly to them. So if anybody's interested.
Very, very cool. Squire Wisman.
Ms. Gundy, could you give us a particular, or is there a minimum requirement that a property is in your name or a business is in your name or something to be
A minimum?
notified? Or-
No,
or,
you can
if
register.
you're an executor of an estate or something.
No,
seem to
you
be-
can just whatever, like that the PVA, whoever is listed as the primary owner, that would be the alert that you would want to receive, the notification because of that address. It alerts you to that name that's
Is it
attached to it.
address Or name, or both?
Yeah, you could do both.
Okay.
I believe. All right. Is there any questions? Nope, okay.
Oh, hold, Squire Tanner, I'm sorry. No,
Yes,
there is a question.
Yes, I do. I do have a question. Is
I went too fast. I didn't see him.
well, it's just a confusion on my part. There's all the counties not on here.
No,
Only
not all
about
the counties.
75 on here. Is that-
Yeah, like Jefferson County, they're their own entity. Fayette County, I believe, they're their own entity. Software management just has 83 different counties. They're working on getting more.
So it wouldn't make any difference as long as your property is within Franklin County, but if it's somewhere else,
No.
that doesn't work. You
It
gotta
does
sign up
work.
somewhere else too?
It does work. My mother lives in Washington County. She signed up with it. I signed her up for the notifications.
It's Washington County only. I'm
It
talking
is.
about if they're not on here.
If they're not on there, then it does not cover it. You would have to go
So
to
if you-
those
if
counties
you-
and speak to them.
If you're in Franklin County and you own property in another county that's not on here, it doesn't work.
Correct, unfortunately. Some, like Jefferson County, they have alert systems as well. So if you had property there, you could go through them to sign up for alerts.
You'd have to go through
But-
them too, though. You'd have to-
Yes,
even
but you
if it's
could
on
not
this
go
list.
through software management because they do not deal with some counties, so. So if you've got property in those counties listed, then you could sign up for
I
notifications.
got property that ain't on this list.
I'm sorry, you'll have to speak to that county clerk.
So I think, Squire, what she's saying is you could contact them directly and they
Yes.
might have their own alert system
Yes.
that's
Well, they
not
might
tied in
have,
this.
but if, I guess really the question I was trying to get, and you may
Yeah.
have answered it, but if you have property in any one of these counties, you only sign up in one of them.
You can
You
sign
gotta
up.
sign up in all of them.
You can
If
sign
you
up in
got
every.
Counties, 3 or 4 counties, you gotta sign in all 3 or 4, even if they're on this list.
Yes, individually, yes.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Any more questions?
That's good clarification there. All righty, and I believe the jail is here. Good evening, Jailer Hopper. Thank you
Hello.
for joining us.
Good evening, Court. I'm here tonight for our quarterly report and also the end of my first year.
Whoa, has it been?
It's been a year.
Congratulations.
Thank you. It's been a year. Andrew has, there we go. The next slide, Andrew. We have hired 47 of 49 positions. Thank you, Court, for approving us to have that additional staff. Our growing population, new contracts, additional court, medical transports, and the federal contract made that necessary for us to have that. Currently, we have 5 deputies certified to facilitate program classes, and when I say that, they can teach the MRT classes, the program classes, that when we arrived a year ago, we were paying someone to do that. Next, Andrew. The physical condition of the jail. Every day, we're doing preventive maintenance on the facility, painting, repairs, door adjustment, lock maintenance, Met with the Finance Committee. I was able to come in on other business and talk to them about some ongoing maintenance challenges that we're still dealing with. The maintenance review, so our valve replacement, it began on June the 24th. It's going relatively well. The main control and tower boards, they'll be replaced, and that'll start in a couple of weeks from now. The camera rebid is on for tonight to upgrade the camera system. On July 1st, we privatized the canteen. We took that over ourselves, and we did on June the 30th, we looked at our numbers, and we had a significant profit made from our commissary. We're probably at a half menu of what we would normally have, but still made a profit. And once we, make sure that we have our footing under us before we add more product to this. But first 4 weeks, there was no interruption at all for the canteen when we moved over. As of today, our population is 253. Anderson County is 35 inmates. Our SAP and SOAR program is 67, 29 state, and 122 Franklin County inmates. Our jail inspection, the federal inspector conducted their inspection on the 16th of June. The jail compliance records were inspected. No concerns during this inspection. June the 25th, the Department of Corrections gave their report to us. We had 2 minor infractions. One of them was with the push button that gets pushed about 4 million times a year. And we resolved that within 8 hours of the time that the inspector left. Our inmate programs, in July of 24, we started working on the dorm. October the 17th, I think, is when we opened, and we had our first females come in. The contract at that day was 20 participants. From January 25, we started working on increasing that. We are now at 70. We have 74. Well, we had a graduation, and we had SAP females leave and go somewhere else. So I think my population report said 67 today. But our contract allows us to have 80 participants in this program. Our inmate programs, which include our MRT classes, our GED classes, participation. This past fiscal year, our revenue for participation in programs was $67,000, which exceeded the last 3 years all together. Our inmate programs, GED participation and graduates, MRT, our reentry program, we have 20 to 30 people that come in from across the state and meet with inmates that are ready to get out. It was an initiative by the governor through Team Kentucky to make sure that these individuals, I personally did my first ID for an incarcerated person that's getting ready to be released, and when they walk out the door, they'll have an ID which will help them navigate everything that they need to. Humane Society partnership is going well. We currently just have 1 dog now. We call them our parolee program. The dogs are getting adopted and finding new homes, and it as much as this helps the Humane Society, it helps the women in their substance abuse program to have something to take care of. Our community services over the past year, I didn't have an opportunity to always post something about what we're doing, and these are some of the ladies in our substance abuse program. They're at Thornhill, the courthouse, out here in front of Main Street. And that was during our snow, the big snow. We have some of our ladies that are putting back sand where for the Frankfort City Police, everyone uses that firing range there. And there's some women that were out there working to take the fence down where the new park is going in. And trash collection, make sure you guys are sending us your emails. I think on 127 last week, we picked up 17 bags of trash. That's a lot. Flood recovery, there's our inmates are working with the road department there, putting out sandbags. And, just community efforts, everywhere we go, we're constantly. There's a picture of the courthouse, and the other picture is what the courtroom looks like. If you haven't been to the jail, we have Tuesday and Friday criminal district and circuit court there. Wednesday, we have drug court there. And I don't know any update on when they'll be back in their home. But it's been really, I'm glad that we were able to help. I'm glad we were able to help. Our prior year reflection through inmate labor, we provided the county and the community over $1.5 million in services. Our SAP and SOAR bed contract for 80 was achieved. Reacquisition for the federal contract was achieved. Privatization of commissary, flood recovery, and a temporary courthouse courtroom was set up at the jail. A couple of things that I wanted to note. We had a drug trafficking investigation which started during a shakedown when we found a dip can that we don't sell. And the investigator at the jail looked into the incident, and through his investigation, we had secured 20 felony indictments. 4 of them were incarcerated individuals, and 1 of them was a civilian outside the jail that was participating in this. So they were successfully or unsuccessfully, they were prosecuted. Recovery of drugs and cash. In December, during the intake and the search of an inmate, a large quantity of drugs, $15,000 in cash, was taken off of someone coming in from Anderson County. We contacted Anderson County Detective, let them know because of the charges that this was recovered on this person. They came and signed the chain of evidence, came and picked this cash up and these drugs, and they were able to successfully prosecute this case in their community. And I went through that faster than what I thought.
Squire Tanner.
Got a question. I have a question for you, Madam
Yes.
Jailer. What about our garden? Is it in production?
I wish I would have brought that. We have, I want to say, nearly 400 pounds of produce out of the garden. I wish I would have put that in here. I have a hard time giving myself props, and I should have done that. But the tomatoes, the cucumbers, zucchini, onions, and cabbage, I think we're closer to 400 pounds of produce that we've brought in, cleaned and stored, and done what we needed to do to be able to use this in our kitchen.
Who's doing most of that work? Is that your females? Or
Yes. Our female incarcerated population out in our substance abuse program does that. Yep. And then they have a small garden up in their area, but that's for leisure. It's not for work. It's some of the females are not allowed to work by DOC standards because they're only in the SAP program. They're not allowed to, but they wanted to get their hands in the dirt, so we tilled up a garden for them, and they wanted some tomatoes and peppers and cucumbers.
I got 2 squash out of my garden, so.
Hey. Y'all-
Hey, Andrew, do me a favor, go back to the accomplishments that the jailer put up there. I want to hit on those real quick, please. There's a couple slides back. No, back.
Maybe it's toward the
You
end,
went
Judge.
Yeah, you went too far. Yeah, there it is, reflection. So I just want to kind of, because I'm going to help tout your horn, because I think you and your team are doing an amazing job. And
Thank you.
The judicial judges next door are very appreciative of you offering the gym up to set up a temporary courthouse. So you are being a team player, and I just want to point out, $1.5 million in labor, and I think that was only based on like $15 an hour, if I remember is that correct?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's a lot of hours. I mean, SAPSOR up to 80 beds. I mean, that is a whole lot. The commissary is huge. I mean, we've talked about this in this court for many years. The involvement you all had with the flood recovery was amazing. I mean, everyone was all hands in, from emptying the courthouse out to helping the road crews with sandbags and everything else. And again, that temporary court. So I just wanted to say thank you.
Thank you, I appreciate it.
Yep.
And not only the incarcerated persons that helped with that, my staff.
Yeah,
I called them that night and
Yep.
said, hey, just because of, moving files, of course, we
Yeah.
can't, but the next morning, Sunday morning at 7 o'clock, we were in Hancock's office, we were moving deed books,
Yep.
and, because you can't replace those.
Yeah.
Those can never be replaced. So moving those was a priority,
Yeah.
getting those from the bottom floor up. Thank goodness it didn't, affect them, but, we worked hard at making sure, that we were all protected there. And, like I said, my staff, I didn't say that, but they came out Saturday night and, we worked and, till 1 o'clock in the morning, getting that, and then back the next morning
Yeah.
at 7. So,
I just want to say thank you to you and your team, because it is making a difference that you are helping this community. And, I always say jail's not a sexy thing to talk about, but I think it needs to be talked about when good things are happening there, and we're
Right.
rehabbing people to get back into society, into our workforce, and I think that needs to be talked about, so
right,
thank you.
and that is a big deal.
Yeah.
The reentry program is huge, and I'm so happy to be a part of that.
Yeah.
And like I said, I actually ran the paperwork from A to Z to get the ID for, this person who's getting ready to get out. When they get out and they don't have an ID.
I learned that a couple
It's-
years ago, and I was meeting with Chamber of Commerce with the state, and I wasn't understanding what they were talking about, and I'm like, what do you mean you let them out with no ID? No social security card, no identification, they just put them out on the side of the road.
Yes.
So, I mean, we are setting people up to fail
Right.
without that, so I think that's a
yeah.
huge bonus.
I think we just secured, with no cost to anyone, 20 desktop computers. We're going to start helping people before they get released have I think it was Dollar General or Goodwill,
Probably Goodwill.
that said they would donate 1,000 thumb drives to us, so we can have resumes. These people can write resumes before they leave. They'll have one in their hand, a paper copy, one on a thumb drive. We're going to make sure they have an email address before they walk out and back into the community. Any little thing, any barrier that we can break down is what we're trying to do.
Thank you very much. Squire Blackburn, do you have your hand up?
No.
Oh, okay, I thought I saw something over there. Squire Wisman.
Thank you.
Judge, could I just ask the presentation to be made part of the official record? It wasn't included in our packet, and I just wanted,
Yeah.
officially from now on, to put those in our minutes,
I apologize to Kim for not getting this
So
to her.
I would, if you'd like, would like you to send it to us, just email it on to us, I suppose, but I just
Okay.
want it to be a part of the official record of the meeting.
Okay, is it fine if I
Just
email it to
send
Kim?
Send it to Jenny, and Jenny
Oh,
can
Jenny will get
distribute
it, okay,
Perfect.
okay.
Thank you.
All right, thank you, guys.
Thank you. Alrighty, next, I believe we have Mr. Duke, Welborn with the Road Department. Good evening, Duke, how are you doing?
Good evening, I'm doing well, how are y'all?
We're doing great, thank you.
Just wanted to update the court on what the road crew's been doing the last couple of weeks. We've been doing a little roadside spraying. We don't spray a whole lot, just mainly brown signs and guardrails, and just for sight distance and that sort of thing. So it's, and we did, we're mowing every day. I think they're out in District 5 right now. Run a culvert crew just about every day, culvert and ditching crew. And then last week we did get the old shop demoed and ready for the contractor to start putting the new pole barn up. So, been fairly busy.
All right, what questions do we have for Duke? All right, I'm
Thank
gonna
you.
ask you, what's the timeline on that pole barn? Because I know that's basically second to last piece of the puzzle, and then they'll come in and finish the asphalt work, and then we can do a ribbon cutting on our whole new capital improvement project. So
Right.
what's the timeline on that building, Duke?
I talked to him this morning. He, the lumber was supposed to have been delivered today, but it wasn't. Don't know what holdup was there. Probably tomorrow. He did run into a little snag with the permit process. He's got to get a set of stamped drawings, since it's a commercial building.
Yep.
He wasn't aware of that.
Okay.
So I think just a few days, the way he talks, to get that ironed out.
Okay.
And then he's ready to start. So
I'm good.
he had planned on starting on Friday until he run into the permit issue. So
Good deal.
hopefully, I'm guessing 3 weeks, hopefully, if everything goes well.
And I'm also appreciative of the continued work you're helping with the Lakeview Park project, and I know you've been out to the other park and taken some trees up and trimmed some things, so I appreciate you all willingness to help all forms of county government, to make things better. Just yesterday, they were assisting with, the new Boys and Girls Club that's going up there in our building. They need a little help with the lift up there for their painter, so we jumped in to help them, so always willing to help, and we appreciate that very
Yes,
much
sir.
so.
Glad to do it.
Yeah, all righty. Thank you, Duke. Alrighty, this is the judge's report. We had a really good meeting about the admin code personnel portion. Had a big meeting with AOC at their building, and, like the jailer spoke earlier, they basically have courthouses set up in, I don't know how many different places. So the good news is, the electric was turned back on just the other day. I believe the air conditioning's on in most of the building over there being our courthouse. Obviously, the downstairs has to be completely rebuilt, and I know they're going to the legislators to try to get some money to help with that. But the game plan is that all the judges are going to occupy the third floor. There's enough courtrooms up there to take them all back. I'm going to guess at least a month or so. There's still, I talked to our maintenance facility guy, Greg, and he said there's still some parts and pieces that aren't working they're going to have to replace, but the majority of everything is going okay. They have 3 out of the 6 elevators working, so Max could speak on this too, I'm sure. Everybody wants to be back down. It's been hard for our community to understand where they need to go. It's been hard for our deputies. Dwayne Depp's here, and he can attest to that too. Jason and them are doing a great job out there, but they're outside in this heat and tents, and it's a big strain on everybody, including the judges over there. So we're working that, and I appreciate AOC working on that too. Sports Commission had their second meeting, and just the other day, so they're going to meet the second Tuesday of each month. It's going to be a set date. But I believe that went very well. They hired an attorney. The attorney is drafting their bylaws. The attorney is drafting an RFP for the sports management company. So I think they've already set up their bank account, and I think they had to do tax ID number or something like that. So anyways, I wasn't able to be there. So I got caught up on the information. I want to commend Kentucky State University and the Extension Office. They had an amazing Farm City Field Day. So they switched it up a little bit this year, and they did it in the evening. So if you all know, they usually did it during the lunchtime. It was hard for people to get there. So when I got there, I asked Mackenzie, I said, how many people? And there's cars all the ways out to the road, double parked. And she said they had over 375 pre-registered. So there was well over 400 people there. And then they had exhibits, and they put everybody on the tractors and carts and took them throughout the farm. And it it was the same night as our town hall, so I wasn't able to do that. But we were at least able to go out there for a while and see everybody. But nothing but compliments for that event, and I can only imagine they're probably going to continue to do that in the evening. But props to Kentucky State University for their facility and for our extension agents for putting an amazing Farm City Field Day on, probably a record crowd. So speaking of that, we had a town hall meeting that evening at 6:30 in the library, and I want to thank Jean, she's here at the library. They were very accommodating. You can see how packed that room was. So we basically gave a presentation about the current buyout program that's available for anyone that was affected in the floodplain who is thinking about not rebuilding. If they've just had enough of the river life or the creek life and rebuilding, they have the option. So NRCS has a program, and it was great. We stayed till every question was answered, and I'm glad we could do that. We did put a due date if anyone is thinking about doing the buyout of August 1, because we're trying to secure the federal money for the 75% because it's on a first come first serve, and the pot is nationwide. So with all the tornadoes and wildfires and everything else, it's first come, first serve. So we are urging anybody who's even thinking about it. It's a voluntary thing. If you decide you get the appraisal back, you don't like it, or you decide on the day that we're going to close, it's not for you. No harm, no foul. You walk away. But we're trying to get as many people signed up so we can go ahead and have that ask. On the 14th, Mayor and I did an interview for the Viewpoint filming we're all part of for the PBS. So they spent a lot of time with doing B-roll and different things around the community, so I think that's going to be an amazing thing. And just to reiterate, we are the first county city in the state of Kentucky to go on the Dennis Quaid show for the PBS thing. So that's going to be a really cool thing, and it's hopefully going to help with tourism and things like just everything. On the 15th, a handful of us went to the accessible playground on the waterfront up there in Louisville. Very impressive what they built there. Basically, it's on the river. It was with some land that really wasn't functioning for much of anything. So it's been in the works for many, many years. But it was good to see as we hopefully start our capital campaign for our accessible playground at Lakeview Park. So trying to get as much information of what they did well, what they wish they would have done. So it was a great little field trip. I want to remind everybody, Bobby Cottle, who's been a long-term employee. I don't even know how long Bobby's been here. 17 years, 16? I'm going to misspeak. I don't know that. But anyways, we're having a big fish fry from him. So he's pretty much retiring. He's having some things that are going on. So we're inviting the whole community or anybody that's maybe worked with Bobby. I didn't realize he was a deputy sheriff at some point, right? Yeah. Yeah, he's a bailiff. Yeah. So the sheriff sent me a picture of Chris was just out of, I think he was still at the city. He was just out of the academy. He was probably 20-some years old. It was Bobby, Ted Collins, and it was four of them. It was a great picture. So, I didn't realize that. So anyways, that's going to be at Lakeview Park. And hopefully everybody who maybe had worked with Ted, either through, the fiscal court as county judge or as sheriff, or just a friend of his can come out. And I know Duke and Jeff Hancock and everybody's going to be doing the fish, and it's going to be a great evening. And it also, on my notes here, food, drinks, music, and silent auction items. So there you go. And next, certainly my last report, but just because I put it on here, I'm going to invite Allie, our solid waste coordinator, to come up. She has kind of a quick overview of, she kind of snuck in here, I think she saw the opportunity in Judge's report. I'm like, Allie, you're not on the schedule. She's like, Judge, you can put me on your Judge's report, so well played.
I know,
so,
I just want to come talk, so.
It's all good. Tell us all the good things y'all are doing.
So our EO Corps member Abigail, she's been staying busy, so I wanted to highlight some of her summer programming for you guys before her service term ends next month. But on June 20th, she hosted a clothing swap to educate on the harms of textile waste and the fast fashion industry and the importance of using items first, like using reusing items. It was a huge success with over 50 residents taking home donated clothes, and any extra clothes were donated to St. Vincent de Paul, which that was already prearranged. I know some people were concerned about what if we get too many donations. So that was a really cool educational opportunity, and a lot of residents were asking for us to host that again. So thank you to Charlie that we got to use the space at Lakeview. And then we'll go to the next one. Abigail's been leading trail tours, highlighting different trails we have in Franklin County. Participants have been learning how to identify native and invasive species, and her next tours are at Cove Springs Park on Thursday, July 24th, and Saturday, July 26th at 10 a.m. So everyone can look out for those and register on our website. Next one, she's been at the DFI concerts, tabling in the kids zone section with different upcycle crafts, and she has our flyers on what's recyclable. That's been a really great opportunity, so thank you to Susie and the Historical Society for letting us be there. But during those events, parents are coming up with the crafts and they're asking about recycling in Franklin County versus the city and what's recyclable, and so she has flyers on that. So it's been a really great opportunity as well. And then Abigail was at Farm City Field Day, which was a huge success. Love to hear it. And the city of Frankfort was there tabling as well, where they announced that they're open for drop-off recycling at Rouse Avenue at this point. So we're excited about that. One step further to curbside pickup in the city, but Abigail is educating on what's recyclable in our community. And then this weekend we were at Josephine Sculpture Park, and so participants got to paint type 5 upcycled containers into plant pots, and we were educating that type 5 plastic is not recyclable in our community, so we have to kind of reuse those items if we can. But yeah, we're thankful for her 900 hours of service educating our community. So we have a couple more events coming up. But it's been a really strong summer. She's been staying busy, so it's been really neat to see. Our Plastic-Free Franklin County program has kicked off, and so we have 3 businesses that are on board with us. Completely Kentucky, Poor Richards, and Engine House. So this comes with a window decal, a feature on our website, a social media highlight, and a Cable 10 feature. And these are businesses that are not distributing any single-use plastic to consumers. So we just want to highlight and uplift people who are being good stewards of our landfill. There's only a few in Kentucky, so we want to celebrate that for sure. And that's what I have, but if anyone knows anyone that would be interested in serving as an EL Corps, AmeriCorps member, send them my way, send their resume to me, and we got to get that process going again. So, yep. Thank you all.
Very much. Yeah, does anybody have any questions for Alex? I think Abigail's been doing a fabulous job. We've talked for years about getting to the kids younger and younger, and I think she's done a great job getting into schools, and that's getting in's half the battle. But now she has a good rapport with everybody, and she's always excited to. I saw her at the fair last night. She was excited to be there setting up. So yeah, it was good.
At the fair all week.
Yep.
All right.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, guys.
All right, one last thing, and I just touched on a little bit last night. We opened the fair up. That's a huge thing for our community, and we are very fortunate that we have a great fair organization that works with us. But we are glad to offer our community park for that. So hopefully, weather permitting, they'll have great weather and won't be rained out at all. And I know last night they were packed, so I know they have a lot of things coming up in the next couple of days. So that is good, good, good. So, alrighty, we're going to move on then. Let's go ahead to number 2. Any questions, concerns, comments on the minutes from June 30th, 2025? Alrighty, and next, I don't know if the jailer's going to get up or who's going to get up and talk about, Laura? Alrighty. I have to admit, Laura, those shoes are shiny. I noticed them earlier when you walked in. That's a good job there. I was like, wow, I'm jealous. That was good looking. Yeah. Alright, so what do we have here, Laura?
We just need approval to rebid for the cameras throughout the jail. And initially, what we put out, the number of cameras, what came in on some of the bids, the numbers were different. So we need to rebid that so that the numbers that come in are all consistent.
And just, I want to ask, I know when this was in front of the court last time, there was question about removal of existing wire. Is that
Yes,
had
that
not.
as
Okay.
well.
I'm just wanting to make sure. I knew it was, but
Yeah,
just,
one of the incoming bids.
Yeah, had it, one didn't,
included
or
and
something,
one
yeah.
of them did not. Yeah.
okay, just want to make sure. Is there any questions for Laura on this agenda item? Squire Tanner?
Yes. Was one of the bids correct?
I'm not, what was the
There-
difference on those, the numbers?
There was a clerical error on the number of the cameras to be installed. It was supposed to be
The
100.
mics, I'm sure you can hear, will you?
Oh, yeah, thank you. Squire Wiseman.
There was a clerical error on one of the bids that was submitted as opposed to showing 120 cameras, it showed 96. And that was an oversight.
Did the other one show the correct amount, the
Uh,
correct number?
Two separate ones, yes.
If one of them was bid correctly and the other one wasn't, then why would you reject them all?
It was at your
Oh, was
urging.
it our
It
deal
was,
to
it
do
was the
that?
court that required us to rebid it.
Oh, thank you for reminding me.
I was sitting there thinking, hold on, I'm pretty sure it was you.
Well, I don't, okay.
There was more to it. There was an error, and we all felt like.
I do remember us
Yeah.
rebidding it, but I can't remember why we'd reject somebody who bid it correctly.
I think it had to do
Not
with,
that good.
Squire, I think it had to do with it wasn't explained about having to remove existing wire. And that was part of it too. So there was some inconsistency, and we wanted to make sure there was no
One
issues.
showed it all, the other didn't show it, just cameras.
Yeah, so, yeah, we're being safe. Squire Wiseman.
Has anything else changed? I'd like to have the scope of the, within what we're bidding, instead of just a.
It's the
title,
exact
but-
same.
So nothing
Yeah,
else
the
otherwise,
exact
okay. So there was that discussion about.
Had it not been for that
Removal of
clerical
wire.
error, this probably, I assume, would have been approved with the other bids.
Okay, good. All righty, thank you all very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you, I appreciate everything y'all are doing. All righty, next is the clerk's excess fees. It's pretty self-explanatory. Oh, we're gonna talk, okay. Take it away.
I'm just here available in case.
Come on, take it away. Tell us all
Okay.
about them.
All right, so the second excess fee was in the amount of $52,879.94. That makes the total for last year that we turned over to $545,647.94.
Can you repeat that final number one more
Yeah.
time?
$545,647.94 that we turned over for the 2024 excess fees.
Okay, perfect. All right, what questions do we have?
None?
There you go. Thank you very much for being here. I appreciate you guys. Well, there's another one on here about the quarterly thing. You want to talk about that too? Yeah, sorry, I just saw that. I'm not saying we're gonna have any questions, but yeah.
But I'll stay
So this is just our quarterly deal.
here. Yeah.
Yep.
Yes. And we're on the right track to hit the budget.
Okay,
No issues.
perfect. Any questions from the court?
Beautiful.
Good
Y'all
enough.
have a great night.
Let me make sure, hold on, let me look at my next one. No, you're good. You're good. Sorry about that. That was partly my fault. Alrighty, the next one, and the gentleman could not be here today, so the next one, it's something we've always done. The state is doing a little bit different this year. They want everybody to sign this. Basically, it says, in a nutshell, explained to me, let's say Anderson County has a massive fire or something really bad happens. It's basically saying that we're willing to send people to help, which we do anyways. I mean, this is nothing new. I know the sheriff's really good about if somebody needs help, they send people. It's not even about billing anybody. We've had other communities come here, especially during the disaster. We had, I think, Shelby, Scott, we had multiple other communities here for good periods of time and to help us out. And so we just, okay, I got it. And so anyway, so that's basically what this is. All right, Squire Sebastian, question.
Thank you, Judge. Who can describe maybe a scenario for this body that would come up, say the road department and fire department, just like you mentioned, for an undetermined amount of time? Would Franklin County be allowed to establish a number of personnel to maintain on hand to address local matters should they arise? and what I'm really thinking about is the fire department, possibly having to shut down like a fire station, to assist another community. I know Section 2 and Section 4 of the agreement speak to that, but I just want to make sure I understand the breadth of that and how the number of who we send is decided.
Yeah, no, I just noticed.
And then I have two others.
Okay, that's perfect. Chief, you want to take that one?
So I can speak on that a little bit. Typically how that operates is whenever there's a request, there's operational guidelines that are set up, there's operational periods. We send what we can afford to send without affecting local protection. So we may send a crew and equipment to another county, or another jurisdiction, and then we may have to backfill, like hire overtime to fill our spots or something like that. But it's all dependent on what we have available and what we have going on at that time.
Well, the reason I ask, and you know the scenario of when Woodford County had that distillery fire, you know, it was all hands on deck for several counties around. And certainly we just want to make sure that, as we all know, that, you know, our residents back home are safe. And I know Section 2 and 4 spoke to some of that, but to me it was a little murky, so I'm just trying to make sure I understand it very clearly.
I think the contract sets forth that the requesting county sends out the request of what they need. The responding county says, we can provide this for this period of time. And then should something happen in that county during that period of time, they're always subject to a callback. And so all that is set forth, not only from the requesting county, but the responding county, and then the period of time that they'll be there, the equipment that they're going to provide, and all the services they're going to provide. And then when they get to the requesting county, that's when everything's kind of divvied up from there, according to the contract. And then, like I said, there is a specific provision in the contract that says, should something happen, an emergency in that county that responds, then they can always call them back. And so that is set forth in the contract.
Yeah, there was some language in sections 2 and 4. I just want to make sure it's very clear to everybody on this body how that works.
Yep.
I guess that's really why I'm bringing it up. My next question is this is a perpetual agreement, which this body has previously gone on record seeking a term limit in order to establish a review schedule for agreements, MOUs, etc. Now, I'm sure you all are looking at Section 10 right now, which notes that it is binding in subsequent years and shall be considered to renew automatically year to year unless terminated by written notice. So that kind of really kind of flies in the face and runs afoul of what this body has talked about in the past. So how would we propose to address that?
Max?
Can y'all hear me?
Yeah, no, we can hear you. We're just seeing who's gonna, you know, I mean, I think I think it's interesting how the state has wanted to formalize this, but all of our local people are really doing it anyways. So to me, it doesn't even have to be a disaster or an accident. Let's use a funeral on Friday. You know, I know the city's gonna cover the county, state police is gonna help. The sheriff has asked Lexington to come in. So, you know, I think all these things kind of happen on their own almost within each thing, but they're wanting to formalize it now. I'm not sure. Max, you have an answer for that 5-year deal?
Well,
she's just saying that it runs longer than the term of this body, right, Squire?
Well, no, I think what she's saying is previously the court had indicated that they don't want contracts to last more than a year, and without being subject to some kind of reapproval by the court. However,
And I think we all, you know, we've discussed this multiple times about that there are agreements that we are finding that have been in place since the 90s and haven't been looked at in 30 plus years. So I'd hate for this one to kind of fall into the cracks of that. Not saying that there's anything wrong with this agreement in any way. Just saying that this body's gone on record saying that it wants to lay eyes on contracts every year, we've said every year, just to lay eyes on contracts, to be aware of what we're saying that we're going to do with other organizations. That's all.
Yeah, no, and that's fair. I guess for me, because this is emergency, you know, mutual aid, you know, I don't have a problem with it, and it's not necessarily money that it's costing us. Obviously, we had to send somebody to help, but there's plenty of people coming to help us too. I'm fine with it. I'm sorry, Squire
And
Head.
just remember, this is all by request. It's not
Yeah.
an automatic thing, you automatically say it. When they call or request the service, that's when you decide whether you can cover the service or not at that time. If not, somebody else picks it up.
It's not automatic aid, it's
It's not
mutual aid.
automatic, right.
Squire Wisdom.
Maybe a question for Max in relation to this, because I agree, something like this could be 30 years down the road and could completely lost and forgotten that it even exists. Could we impose an agreement subject to an annual or biannual or whatever we want to do, re-adoption by the court? Sort of an addendum to the agreement out of our own volition, that we have to put eyes on this at least once every new court to re-adopt?
State, I mean, I don't know how to
If
do
you're wanting to change the
Yeah.
terms of the contract.
No.
If you all want to say, we want to look at our contracts every year, I mean, that's a choice that you all can make, but that wouldn't be binding on everybody else
in the state.
in the state. So
Right.
if you're talking, it wouldn't be an addendum to this, it would just be a separate deal that the court would do just with themselves. Like I said, in order to change the terms of the contract to something else other than what's in there, everybody else to the contract is going to have to agree to that. So just because the court necessarily, wants to review a contract every year, and nobody else that's a party to the agreement, say it's 120 counties and 119 counties don't want to do that, we can't, you've got one or two choices. You either enter into the agreement or you don't. You can't say, well, we're going to do this every year and you've got to do that because that's what we want. That's not how
Squire Blackburn.
contracts work.
I think when we look at these contracts, we have several different types of contracts. It's important that we see this one for what it is. And I think it's incumbent upon every court that comes in to look at the contracts they have that go year to year. We have an out. We got a 60-day out. So if a new court comes in and they don't want to be held bound, they don't want to be bound by this, they can write a letter and 60 days later it's gone.
Yeah.
With this particular contract, I get the consistency that we're trying to make happen. But at the same time, this is a little bit different animal for all the right reasons, and it has an out, so I don't see a problem with it.
Squire Head.
I would just hate for it to be known that maybe the county wouldn't show up when I don't want to be known for that, so.
I don't think that's what we're saying at all here, Judge. I'm thinking we should approve, but put it contingent upon all future courts reviewing the document by mandatory agreement subject to the approval every 4 years, so that each court is aware and can influence however they need to at that point in time. So I think we can impose a self-review.
For me, maybe that's something we add to our admin code, something like that every, new court.
I'm saying by this.
Yeah,
Well, we've talked about reviewing all contracts multiple times in here, and we've still not got to all of them, but.
Yeah. Squire Tanner.
Parliamentary question, I guess. This is a resolution and not an ordinance. It's just an agreement we enter into, so the resolution, we could say we don't want to do it anymore. And that by anybody at any time, so I don't even think anything else has to be said.
Yep.
Personally.
All right, thank you. Squire Sebastian, did you have another question? You said you had a couple?
But we do need to get out of it.
No, Judge, I'm just going
Supersedes
to
anything else.
Okay.
ask the next one.
But maybe it should.
The only reason I asked this question is because this body and every person on this body has spoken in the past about reviewing agreements so that we don't forget that they are in place. And not only members of the court change, but staff change. So whether we create a law, I've asked for that. I'm sure it's coming. So, 3 or 4 more years, I'm sure I'm gonna get it.
Well, I wouldn't say that, because we
concerned
have.
about it.
Yep. Okay.
So,
Judge,
Huh? Yeah, that was sent out. Squire Sebastian. The list of contracts has been sent out
a
a couple of weeks ago.
couple of weeks ago. Okay,
Yep.
I'll check for it. Thank
Yep.
you very much.
Yep. Squire Wisdom.
Judge, well, one question was, is this a new agreement? I think you stated that it is, because I wasn't aware of anything previously
Yeah.
that existed, so we don't have anything that it supersedes or takes the place of.
Correct.
I'm wondering if we can describe, or maybe Max, or there is a hold harmless section that I'm wondering if in an instance where we send mutual aid to another county, it's a natural disaster or something, we are at a loss of equipment because of the hold harmless agreement, if we're operating under another jurisdiction's directives or an area outside of our county, how is our insurance and some of these things, how will they come in play? I'm assuming there's some directive that the state putting this together is going to influence those, but I'm wondering if that is taking place.
I just know, and I can't speak exactly, but I know like during this last disaster, for instance, if we were to go to another county and help, they keep track of the times just like we do, and we look to get reimbursed. We have the option between just us. I know talking to the sheriff, when we offered to pay the other counties that were here helping us, they didn't want anything, But you're saying like if a truck is lost.
Or if a flooding issue happens
Yeah.
somewhere and we take a boat
Yeah.
and we lose it.
Yeah.
How is that covered? Is it
I would
up
say
to
just
us
our
to?
insurance. Yeah, it'd just be
I'm
our
just wondering
insurance
if that's
policy.
defined somehow in the process, because in a situation, a certain situation that comes to mind, the equipment lost to another community could be at the directive of the host community.
Yeah, they might be able to
It's
claim
happened,
it. I mean, that'd be a KCO question.
Just wondering if there's maybe
Yeah.
some additional element that we
Yeah.
need to inform our insurance policy or somehow update.
Yeah,
Maybe-
well, I'm sure they're aware of this because every county's signing it, so.
Right.
We can double check that. Okay, all good conversations. Next, I believe Belinda is here with us tonight.
I have a question, but I better.
How are you doing?
I'm well, how are you?
Good.
Everybody's in good shape tonight. This is an agreement between Fiscal Court and the state to authorize the receipt of FEMA funds for reimbursement of damages caused by the flood in February of this year. We're currently seeking reimbursement for both personnel and equipment for cleanup and debris removal and to repair roads, culverts, and ditches. This includes contract labor that was used. We're also asking for reimbursement for the cost of sheriff's office employees that were utilized for patrols and safety well checks. The amount received by Fiscal Court will be based on a formula of 75% federal, 12% state, and 13% local funds. So the county will be reimbursed 87%.
Squire Wisman.
Judge, just a related question, if you could, for the court and for the public. Has this was for February, for the flooding that we
This
experienced
was-
in February.
Correct.
Was this fund ever approved through the federal government for the flooding that we experienced in April for us to?
No, Congressman Comer called me last week, very upset. He was supposed to meet with President Trump this week. He is trying everything he can to get Franklin County covered for the public disaster that we had in April, but no, as of today, no community in the state of Kentucky is receiving public assistance from the April disaster.
Just wanted that to be on the record.
Yep.
Thanks.
All righty. I guess Belinda, keep moving.
Belinda, question for you.
Yeah. Sorry, go ahead.
If I could, there's a $200 million cap, it looks like in this contract. Is that nationwide or just?
Right. My understanding from Erin, because she's working on this, and I'm just kind of filling in for her this evening, is that that is the money that will be divided amongst all of the counties involved in this particular disaster. And so basically, we will apply for reimbursement for our costs to get a share of that money. And so will the other counties, just based on the damages that they had from the event.
Do you know by chance if that allocation, 200 million, will be a first come, first serve, or will everyone be required to put in all of their expenses and some prorated amount be distributed amongst everyone?
Now, I can't promise this because, again, this was, as Aaron's working on this, but the way I think it is they've submitted estimates, and this is the amount that's been approved for the state, is what I believe is happening with that.
Thanks.
All righty. So is that all you have with us tonight?
That is.
Really?
I
Wow.
know.
I think I was used to the last meeting. You had like 5 things. You just stood up there, so.
I just like to hang out up here.
Yeah, you can hang out with us for a while. That's cool. Thank you, Belinda, very much. 68? Gotcha. All righty. How's Autumn doing tonight?
Doing well.
Good, good, good. What do you have here for us?
This item is a second reading for our special events ordinance. Last month, whenever we had our first reading on this, there was quite a bit of conversation. So there are a few things I would like to touch on. The first is that we did make a small amendment to this to address yard sales. So on the back of, you should have received an updated document, and on the very last page, page 10, item number 14, this is in the section that provides exemptions for business licenses, and it states that no business license or vendor fees shall be required for yard sales, which are events lasting 3 or fewer days and no more than twice per year, where articles or goods are displayed for sale at a person's dwelling, where articles so displayed are personal belongings of such person and were not originally acquired by the dwelling's occupants for the purpose of resale. So we just wanted to be really clear that if someone is having a yard sale, they would not be subject to a business license, and that also would not qualify as a special event that would require a special event permit. The one caveat to that would be if a large neighborhood decided to have a neighborhood yard sale and wanted to close streets or something like that to have folks utilizing the street on foot, then that would perhaps require the block party type permit. The other thing I wanted to touch on, Squire Wissman had requested that we look into an exemption for home hobbyist type businesses. Our occupational tax administrator and I had a concurrent vacation, so we did not have a chance to really have a conversation about that. And when we did get to talk about it, we really felt like it was something that would sort of extend beyond what was here, and really needed to be sort of its own separate conversation. And then the final thing I want to touch on is that I understand, I want to be really clear that we were really trying to be cognizant about not making this an overly onerous process, and that this is really targeted at special events that will have an impact on our public services and our ability to provide those services. So events on private property and events at places that typically have events, unless they are, I'll just touch on two separate sections. So on page 2, in our definitions, under item B, under the definition of special event, that talks about our special events on private property that would require a permit under this ordinance. And the important thing there is that we're expecting those to be things that would be attended by 500 or more persons. So if somebody's having a relatively large wedding on their farm for their daughter, and they're inviting 250 guests, that would not be something that would trigger this. But if it is something where they're going to be having a massive amount of guests, like a Luke Bryan concert or something like that, which is something that's happened in 2 communities near us over the past 10 years, that would be something that would trigger the need for this, because we would really have that need for fire and the sheriff's department to be aware of those types of activity.
Is it said in here that basically this is for like for-profit events?
Correct.
We're not looking to shut a church down for having a bazaar. You
Right.
know what I mean? Like,
Yeah. And that takes me to the final thing I want to touch on, which is on page 3, under section 94.02. Number 7 is an exception these are things where special events permits would not be required, and that includes events held on private property that contains an established assembly use, such as schools, places of religious assembly, banquet facilities, sports fields, private parks, eating and drinking establishments, and theaters. So any place that runs a business that is intended to have large amounts of customers coming at a time, large amounts of participants, congregants, that sort of thing, those would not be subject to this ordinance. And we tried to come up with a pretty exhaustive list there.
I do feel like, and I know Squire Sebastian's worked on this quite a bit too with some of us. I do feel like since we don't have it 100%, you didn't have a chance to meet with Summer and stuff.
Sure.
If it's okay with the court, maybe we go ahead and table this. And
okay.
we want to get it right the first time. Like I said, we don't want to have to come back and adjust it. Squire Tanner.
There's several questions I have in here.
Okay.
And I think it needs to be aired out a little more, and maybe a meeting to discuss those, straighten them out, at least in my mind, because, for example, it says, and I may be interpreting it, and maybe I don't want to get into the weeds too much. If we're going to think about tabling it to a different time, I'll discuss it maybe with you or whoever needs to, because it's not clear to me about, because it says for-profit or not for-profit in here very plainly in under A. So those kind of things got to be cleared up.
Yeah. Squire Sebastian, are you okay if we table this and maybe kind of meet on it again to make sure we get it right the first time? Yes, okay, all right, sorry about that. Yeah, had a little difficulty, I got you, thank you. Y'all good with that?
Sorry, I'm having trouble.
That's okay.
The delay, I think the delay is not good here, sorry.
Okay, no,
Yeah, I'm okay because I think there are some things that need to be vetted maybe a little bit more when we can get all the staff around the table. So,
Yep.
most certainly. And input from the body, that's what we need to do to make sure that it's right all the way around the first time.
yeah, thank you, Squire Harris, Squire West, Squire West has a question.
Judge, I was gonna ask for that similar, this exact same thing, but
Okay.
even in edits, I'd like to, circulate this around to some of our partners throughout the community that's fully understood what we're putting in place before we do this. I don't want churches or anyone feeling attacked that they're gonna have
Yeah,
an
we did some
onerous
marketing.
process. I'd like to make sure that everyone understands it before we make a final vote.
Sure.
And there's some technical language things that I wanna look at too, like yard sales is kind of a broad definition and a local colloquialism in some ways that we need to find some terms in some other ways.
Okay.
Autumn, it's not gonna break your heart if we table it and kind of meet
Not
again?
at all.
All righty, cool.
I guess the question will need to be when we go into voting session, are you going to table this matter generally or table it to a certain time? So you all may want to be thinking about that on how you.
I would like to just do it generally. I mean, I don't think we're in a rush for this. We just want to get it right. So we don't know what staff schedule is and everything, so if that's okay with it. And we're going to try to get it done as soon as possible, but I'd rather not put a date on it, if that's okay.
I'm fine with tabling it indefinitely,
Yep, okay. All righty.
undetermined.
Are you doing the next one?
I am. The next item, item number 9 on your agenda, is a second reading and approval of an ordinance amending the table of special ordinances for a zone change at 1373 Peaks Mill Road from an agricultural AG district to a rural residential RR district.
I was going to ask you a question.
Don't
And I
ask
caught myself. Are you proud of me? Yeah, I literally started to say something. I'm sitting there laughing.
The
I'm
answer is
sorry.
no.
Yeah, I know, I'm sorry, sorry.
All right. Item number 10 is another second reading and approval of an ordinance to amend the table of specials ordinances, section 1 zoning map, for a zone change at 650 Evergreen Road from rural residential RR to agricultural district AG. And then I will let Ben take the next one.
What's that?
Our next, you're not done with planning yet.
Oh, you handing it off?
Yep.
You're not mad at us, are you?
I'll be back.
Oh, Ben's here. Oh, I was like, what's going on? She's,
Really is.
yeah. Hey, Ben, how you doing tonight?
Doing well, how are you doing?
Good.
Yes, as Autumn mentioned, this is a first reading for a zone map amendment for property on Democrat Drive. The request was to go from PO to IG.
I'm good, I'm good. Listen, I'm good. It's in here. So is it okay if I ask staff what the recommendation was? Because it's in the file.
I think, feel free to talk amongst yourselves, but if you could leave the staff out, that would.
Leave staff out.
So maybe if one of you all would like to say what the recommendation was, other than Ben's.
Other than asking?
Other than asking.
I know what it is. Y'all want me to do it? I believe staff recommended denial.
If that's what's in the packet.
Well, we have so many P and Z things, I gotta make sure that was the right thing.
Keep your heads down.
Blink once for yes, once for.
Yes. Oh, I'm sorry. Squire Sebastian. Thank you, Kim.
Thank you, Judge.
Yep.
I'm trying to look at the record on my little tiny phone and watch this meeting at the same time. And so, from what I see in this document, and I'm trying to read from the document, so just tell me if I'm reading it incorrectly. The surrounding zone land use is north as vacant CG, and I think that's commercial general. And then the south is PO, the east of it is PO, and then the west is PO. And as I understand it, I think they're wanting to move this from PO to something else. I'm just trying to make sure I'm reading it correctly because I'm having a hard time seeing it on this little phone. Did I read that from the record correctly? Can I ask that question?
I'm sorry, go ahead.
Judge, if you would like, I will read the current zoning, the proposed zoning, and the recommendation from the planning commission.
Yeah, that'd
from
be
the
great,
record.
because I think I misspoke, I found it now. I thought this was another one. Go ahead, Squire Wisman.
This is a zoning change request for 190 Democrat Drive to change from Professional Office District PO to General Industrial District IG. It says, whereas the aforesaid ordinance provides for the amendments to the zoning ordinance text and maps and requires the Franklin County Planning Commission to forward these recommendations. Sorry, I'm reading the wrong one. Ben, will you point out to me where it says possibly while I'm reading the other two, where it says exactly the Planning Commission's recommendation in that? And I'll read the existing zoning is Professional Office PO, which purpose is to establish and provide for the office of related uses serving as an incentive for to remodel older residential structures which may not be appropriate to maintain as dwellings. Retail sales shall be prohibited. The proposed zoning is for general industrial, whose purpose is to establish and preserve areas in the county for the purpose of industrial land use and industrial growth, to limit such areas to functions related to the production of goods and such ancillary uses which are compatible with industry, to provide standards which will protect the community from obnoxious activities associated with industrial production. Where might I find the
No, don't ask him, don't ask him.
Planning Commission's recommendation here?
Page 8.
Page 8, thank you.
Yeah, I just found it too. Based on the findings and analysts within this report, staff recommends that the Franklin County Planning Commission approve the request and recommends the Franklin County Fiscal Court could approve the zone map amended based on the facts within this report and based on the principal findings that the requested zone change does satisfy the requirements of KRS 100.213. So, sorry, I had this, I'm up to speed now. Okay.
I think you had them reversed, but.
Yeah, I did. Like I said, there's so much P and Z things, so, yes. So that's where we are. So this is first reading. Ben, you're doing a great job. Man. Poker player, I know, he's good. Yeah. Alrighty, are we good to move on to the next one? Court? Hold on one second, Ben, there's still, make sure. Squire Sebastian, are you okay to move on to the next one? I couldn't tell if you moved.
Oh, on that one?
I'm fine, I just,
Yep.
7 on this one.
it's hard to watch this meeting and review the content on this small phone from over here. Thank you.
Yep, thank you. Okay. Squire Tanner, Squire Wisby, are we okay to move on next one?
I'm okay.
Okay, alrighty.
All right.
Hey,
this
there's
next-
Autumn again.
This
Today,
next one
Wednesday,
is
ain't
a
you?
zone change for a 1.75 acre tract located at 1120 Duckers Road. The request for a zone change from rural residential RR to general commercial district CG. May I read a blurb from the minutes to indicate the planning commission's action? No?
No, but one of us can.
I can here, I got it.
Give us a second, we'll thumb it.
What page?
Judge, if I can read the current zoning and proposed zoning and the finding of the planning commission?
What page are you on?
Fire.
Page 6 of 9 and 7 of 9. The existing zoning for the subject property is rural residential, whose purpose is, the district is intended to establish and preserve a quiet, single-family home neighborhood, free of other uses except those which are convenient and compatible with the residences of such neighborhood. The district is intended to be a very low density and will customarily be located in areas where public sewer facilities are not planned or available. Reverse those two. And the proposed zoning is general commercial CG, whose purpose is to permit community-oriented commercial development predominantly in the areas already developed and where a change in development pattern is in accordance with the comprehensive plan, to preserve the carrying capacity of streets and to ensure adequate parking, to provide concentrations of general commercial activities. And the staff finding right below that, staff finds that the requested zoning of CG is inappropriate as the future land use map suggests that the subject property should remain residential. The recommendation of the Planning Commission, based on the findings and analysis within the report, staff recommends that the Franklin County Planning Commission deny the request and recommend that the Franklin County Fiscal Court disapprove the zone map amendment based on the facts within this report and based on the principal findings that the requested zone change does not satisfy the requirements of KRS 100-213.
You got something else, Squire?
I was trying to find it here quickly, but
Okay.
the Planning Commission did support the denial of the zone map amendment.
Okay.
Yes, the first page of the ordinance, whereas the Franklin County Planning Commission recommended to the Franklin County Fiscal Court denial of the zone map amendment.
Okay. And again, he was just reading what is in
It's in the record.
record. Thank you. Thank you. So again, this is first reading. I appreciate Squire Wishman reading those things for the court. And everybody good? Bottom, I want to thank you and your team. Y'all are doing an amazing job. I appreciate everything y'all do for our community, so y'all
Thank you.
keep it up. Thanks, Ben.
Judge, should we start having a conversation at each one of these, just as a determiner of the court's opinion, to state something of the fact that we wish to proceed with the record as it exists to approve or deny, and or we decide to proceed with a public hearing, because I think we just agreed both of those without saying that we did,
Yeah.
to proceed with the record as it exists.
County attorney, yeah.
Yeah.
I think that would be an appropriate discussion that could be had during this period of time, whether or not you all want to have a hearing on it or not. And should you all want a hearing, voting on that in the voting portion of the meeting.
Rob Blackman.
Yeah, I just want to go on the record for saying, if I want to recommend a public hearing for the court, I'm going to do it in the first reading. I'm not going to wait and make the timeline stretch out and maybe have order of law pass and supersede what we would want to do.
Right.
So if it's something that constituents have come to me strongly about, and the record I feel, or my constituents feel, more importantly, if not enough information is there, I would go with calling for our own public hearing on the first reading.
Right.
And I'll do that every time. Or if I don't, that means I'm not.
So I guess since we're just having a conversation here, I mean, what is the thoughts? I mean, I personally think both of them, there's a lot of great information. I haven't heard anything like something didn't go well. I think everybody was able to speak. I mean, I think we have enough information to go here off record myself on these two. I see what you're saying in the
Agree.
future. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Yeah, but.
Just that we formally
yeah.
decide as.
Yeah, no, that's good.
And that on the first reading, I think it's imperative usually
Yeah,
to do that
and
rather than wait till the second.
I agree with Squire Blackburn. I don't see how you could walk in here on the second reading and
Yeah.
say we're going to have a hearing today. You got to
Yep.
get your staff ready. You have to have your witnesses ready. You're going to do
Yeah.
that. You got to do it
Puts
at the first reading.
Huge time constraint on the
Yep.
staff, and then when we have to have a transcript, and it costs lots of money for that.
Yeah.
It's a big undertaking.
Yeah.
You
So
gotta
it's
have
not
a
something that I would
recorder, you got to have
come in
everything.
lightly.
Yeah.
You'd have to get a recorder and everybody
Yeah.
else. You got to do it on the first.
Okay,
reading.
no, that's good, and I need to make note of that as we move through these, but, so we can keep moving. For tonight, we feel like these two here, were handled correctly, and we could go off record. I think everybody's in agreement there. Okay, no, all good conversation, thank you. Alrighty. Next, item 13, I believe, is Charlie here? There. Hey buddy, how you doing? Come on up. A lot of things happening in the park.
Very busy. It's Fair Week for those of you that would like to come out and ride some rides, or watch a truck pull, or, yeah.
Or look at all the dirt that's been moved for our new softball complex.
Softball complex,
Pretty exciting.
a lot of
Yes, it is.
It's a lot.
earthwork
Yeah.
been going on in between the rains, and
Yep.
making really good progress on that.
Good. All right, so what do we have here?
This is just some housekeeping items to kind of streamline our rental facilities and the fees that are associated with those rental facilities. For example, the Hancock Pavilion right now costs $79.50 to rent. A lot of people will bring $80, and we got to go round up 2 quarters.
Yeah.
If it's $80, we can
Yeah.
hand them a receipt. They're out the door. We go do our thing. They do their thing. And I just put those 3 on there because you can see the odd numbers: $79.50, $53 for the Robinson, $212 for the Farm Bureau. Well, I just adjusted those to 80, 60, and 220.
Yep. We
just
talked about it at committee, and we talked a little bit more about the actual rates themselves, but knowing that all the things that are going on with the master plan, that there's potential that, these couple of things could be relocated and moved around and have, take down for a while. So Charlie just asked, even in the meantime, if we could just kind of round things up to make mathing easier and change easier and things like that. So I don't believe the committee had any issues with this. Squire Wisman.
I'm sure it'll be updated in your rental policy, Charlie, but just for our purposes, could you verify what the $80 is renting the Hancock Pavilion for? 1 24-hour period, 1 8-hour period, 1 6-hour period, one day during daylight hours only? What?
Daylight, our pavilions are daylight hours only. Okay, so sun up to sundown for the picnic shelters. And the Farm Bureau Pavilion we kind of treat it like the Carter House, because it has lights and doors. We do allow those rentals to go to midnight. Okay.
So still single day rental?
Single
fee?
days, yes, yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Just because it didn't state it there. So.
Okay.
Thanks.
Yes, sir.
Alrighty. Charlie, thank you.
Thank you.
Good luck this week with everything. Tell Delbert again, thanks for his help out there. I know he's critical in getting that thing going. Alrighty, Duke, you're coming back to us, right?
Yes, sir.
Alrighty.
Road Department's just wanting court approval to surplus 3 pieces of equipment. One's a 2000 John Deere backhoe loader. It hadn't been used in several years. I mean, it's a good machine, we just don't use it anymore. We were gonna put it in the surplus sale we had, but it needed a little bit of work and the parts were on back order, so we thought we could just surplus it and put it on gov deal. Also, there's a 1995 Steigers 20,000 pound trailer that it got damaged in an accident. The tongue got bent and it totaled it, so according to our use, we can't use it. So we were just gonna put it on gov deals as well. And then we had some steel tracks off of Bobcat mini excavator that we wanted to surplus as well.
Alright, questions for Duke on these items? Squire Tanner.
I got one question, not for Duke particularly, but for the county attorney. We, I think, can give away equipment to another government entity, et cetera. My question is, can we, and it wouldn't be these equipment, but it might be the backhoe. Can we give any equipment to a 501c3 or not?
No.
Can't give it to any 501c3.
You can't just give stuff.
That's fine, I just want to make sure we're clear.
Governmental, body.
It has to be a
For
governmental.
no compensation, it's gotta be a governmental entity.
Yep.
You can't just give it to a 501.
But if one of those water departments happen to want that backhoe, we could give it to them, is that correct?
I would have to look at how they are defined under the statute on whether they're considered a government.
They're a special government entity, that's what the government calls, they got a.
No, that's a good question, but then I'm just thinking, how is it fair if the other ones didn't get it? You know what I mean? Like, I'm just thinking out loud here, so that's a good question. So Duke, does it work, the Bobcat now?
Not the Bobcat.
The backhoe
the
loader,
backhoe.
it does run. I
Okay.
mean, we just don't use it.
Yeah, understandable. But if we can't do that and it goes on gov deals, can you all do videos on gov deals?
I believe so.
To show that it works?
Yes,
You know,
sir.
it's just a thought.
Yeah. And a guy from the state's supposed to come, he just hadn't made it yet to actually appraise it for us.
Okay.
So
Gotcha.
put some type of reserve on it.
Yeah. Squire Wiseman, do you have a question?
Yeah, I called Duke earlier, and I just wanted to make sure that we surplus contingent upon having any serial number, VIN number, or anything else. I think we legally are required to put those if a piece of equipment or electronic has it.
Right.
So,
Right.
make it subject to that if I can.
Alrighty. And the next one, Duke, some fuel.
Okay, yes, sir. We had sealed bids, that we opened on June 23rd for our diesel fuel, dyed and undyed. We received two bids. One was Heritage Petroleum. The other was, Robinson Oil. He's the current supplier and has been for years. And he actually got the low bid, which I was glad to see.
Yep.
So we're just asking the court to award that.
I'm excited to finally have two types of diesel down there. We should have done it many years ago. And I'm also excited that Robinson was the low bidder because they have been a good person to work with this county. And if we need them, they show up and they're local, and that makes me happy.
He's always watching.
He has.
Yeah.
Very, very nice to deal with, and the drivers are nice, and I'm glad that's kind of worked out there. Any questions, concerns, comments on that one? All right, Duke, thank you.
Thank you.
Good evening, Amy.
Good evening. So my first agenda item is the financial statement for year 25. And I just want to hit some highlights, and this should all be in your packet as support. Starting with the revenue, in fiscal year 25, our total revenue amounted to $38 million. And this was supported by taxes that contributed to $23.6 million, which represents 62% of our revenue. Intergovernmental support and grants totaled $5.8 million. Miscellaneous sources, including sheriff, clerk, payroll reimbursements, insurance proceeds, settlements, contributed $5.2 million. And my favorite, interest income, $1.2 million. And that's the benefit with our partnership with CashVest.
Amen.
And
Can you repeat that last one? I'm sorry.
thank you for asking. $1.2 million interest.
Isn't that
interest.
something?
Yes.
Thank you.
Moving on to our expenses, just to highlight some of the expenditures. Salaries accounted for $14 million, reflecting our commitment to our workforce. All employees received a 3% increase in January. The park and the golf salaries were adjusted in July of '24. The fire department employees had salary adjustment in January. 4 positions were reclassed and salaries were adjusted. We created 2 new positions, a maintenance assistant and community outreach coordinator, which is funded by the opioid abatement funding from ASAP. Retirement benefits, the Social Security Medicare match, that expense was $6 million, ensuring support for our employees. The Fiscal Court was able to continue to fully cover health insurance premiums for employees, and the court subsidized 65% of premiums for employee dependents. Capital projects totaling $2.9 million, including investments to the new facility at the road garage, and professional services for park projects, as well as our debt payments. Household waste collection, $1.5 million. Jail facility and inmate support, less payroll and benefits, $1.8 million. Our share with the city on ambulance, 911 emergency service, a little over $1.2 million. Support to our sheriff's office for the purchase of 3 new vehicles and $50,000 towards new body cams. Fire department maintenance and support, again, less payroll and benefits, $1.9 million, which included the purchase of a new fire truck for $800,000 from bond proceeds. So moving on to our reserve analysis, after deducting restricted monies, and those restricted monies are things like activity from the bond for capital projects, clerk storage fees, opioid settlement, LGEA, federal, and ARPA activity, the fiscal court had an increase in our reserves. Several things helped with that. Number one, departments adhered to their budget. Any areas that they were over, they requested budget transfers, and also the higher interest income. So the increase to reserve for fiscal year '25 is $374,000, bringing our reserve as of June 30th to $14.374 million. I'd be happy to answer any questions.
First, I would like to say thank you for all you do. This is a lot of very, very good information. I've been bugging you for a while. How are we gonna end up? How are we gonna end up? And I want to thank all the department heads. That's impressive. Everybody stayed on budget. It takes a team. And to know that, I mean, just the interest that we've made since we went with Cash Vest, I mean, we can nitpick everything here and see how this court has been very supportive of all the changes. Everybody cares, and everybody treats us, their taxpayers, like it's their own money. And I think that goes a long ways. But one thing I do want to hit on too, though, is that with everything we've done and all these projects and all these things that are happening finally in Franklin County, we beat our budget, and we always worry every time because the budget's a kind of a moving target, but because we have team members that care about it, we came in $374,000 roughly, in the black. So that's tight, on 38 million or it's more than that, 50-some million all in all. So I just want to say thank you. I want to thank everybody. Anybody from the court have any questions, concerns, comments? Squire Blackburn.
I just want to, echo your comments. Every department head has been working to streamline and be efficient, and I feel like the work effort that departments are given is increased. I think morale is increased. I think everything's working really well, and I'm thankful for that. And I'm thankful for the staff that we have here. I'm thankful for the workers that we have, the leadership shown at every level. It's working for the county, and I really appreciate it.
Yeah, good. It's definitely a team
makes
effort.
our job easier.
Yeah, it's a team effort.
Great job, Amy.
And I want to thank our deputy judge here. He takes a lot of things, makes them better. So a lot of behind the scenes. So it is a team effort. Alrighty, that's great news, Amy. Thank you for that. I know it's been a long run to get those numbers, but we appreciate that. Alrighty, what's the next one?
Next agenda item is showing where I have filed our fourth quarter report with Department of Local Government. The next item, the Department of Local Government has asked that incentive payments come before the court for approval. So I'm bringing this before you to approve. This is KRS. It is a requirement, but they are asking that we take this step to bring it before we make the payment. And this is a payment, as you know, that goes through payroll.
Yep. All right.
Judge, can I ask on that?
Yeah.
I know there's been some back and forth, and typically these have went just through our court bills in the past to be approved as part of everything else. Is this the expectation from here in that each individual payment will come before as a separate line item or individual item to be approved?
This could change. You saw it as a recurring
Yes.
after the fact, and so we're changing it to approve before. We may change it to see, you may see it as a separate claim sheet going forward.
Okay.
So it'll either come in this format or as a claim.
We talked about it earlier, so we were trying to see if we could put it in with the bills before, but like to Amy's point, we were doing it after the fact, and by KRS, we have to do it before the fact, so we're trying to simplify it, and it's all positive things. Squire Blackburn.
Just to clarify for me, as the agenda item reads, it says payment to the elected official training incentive. Is that for the fund itself that covers all the elected officials? Or is that going to be for every individual when they meet the benchmark to get paid?
When I receive the letter, when you receive the
Do
letter.
we need to vote on that?
Yes.
But the theory is we might be able to put in with bills and not have a separate
Yeah.
item. Yeah.
I've had quite a bit of discussion about this with a lot of people, but anyway, the main thing we need to do is to make sure that the people who fulfill the requirements to get this incentive get it.
Yeah.
And I've had quite a long conversation with our county attorney, and he and I agree, he told me how it need to be done, and I agree with 100%, but might not be the same the next level.
Right, you may, and I will point that out if it's in a different format so that you're aware of it.
It's all positive things. And I think that's one of the reasons court works so well, because they are up on their education and things like that. Okay, Amy, next one. Oh, I'm sorry. Squire Blackburn.
I just want to point out, it's not something we keep track of. DLG keeps track of our training
Exactly.
incentive hours. And they send a letter,
They do.
I guess, to you to say they've completed their training, they're ready to be paid, and then that will come to us to vote on?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
But nothing.
I know what you're saying.
Treasury report.
So this is the same information that I've already given you earlier, so I won't bore you with that again, but it is for the 12 months ending June 30th. I'm just going to give the fund balance. We're ending at 29.646,355. I've also included the revenues and the expenses for the new fiscal year as of July 16th. No, not as of July 10th.
Amy, we got our distilled spirits in, great, okay.
We did.
Way ahead of that.
We
Is there
did.
any
This is
other
bullshit.
fund or anything that you, there's a number, particularly a fund in one department, that seemed to really come in significantly under what we had budgeted in terms of revenues anyway. Is there anything that's concerning that you think we should look at that some line item is not fulfilling the expectation in any way? That may be a loaded question for you to fulfill later, but.
I'm assuming you're referring to one fund, the jail fund?
Yes.
And we've had a lot of conversations with the jailer, and I feel like we will see a change in that this fiscal year.
Squire Sebastian.
Thank you, Judge. And I want to echo what the treasurer said in response to Squire Wisman's question. The Finance Committee looked at that really hard when we were working on developing the budget that we are now in, and really took that to heart in trying to come up with numbers that actually reflected where the position of county government. I guess that's the clearest way to put that. We had been given some information previously and put it into that and found that it was not meeting the expectation or the rationale that was given to us. We made a change in this budget development year, and that's what you see in the budget, the treasurer's report reflected this time for this current year.
Yep. Thank you, Squire. That was well said. Yes, we spent a lot of time working on that number there, so. Already, we good? Amy, thank you again very much. We appreciate everything you do. All righty, next is payment of claims. Does anybody have any questions, concerns, comments for Kim on payment of claims? All righty. righty, seeing none. Authorization to go into closed session per KRS 61.8101F. Discussions or hearings which might lead to the appointment, discipline, or dismissal of an individual employee.
So moved.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. All right, we're in closed session. Do I have a motion to return into open session?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All in favor, say aye. Aye. All right, we're in open session. Next agenda item is authorization to award the bid for the fire department equipment. Any questions on this? Chief, I'm gonna ask, because they're not asking, is this a budget item?
It is.
Thought I'd throw it out there.
We'll leave it to say.
Squire Blackburn, microphone 2, please. Thank you.
Thank you, Chief. Are you going to keep your current equipment on like standby and maybe,
So this will get the last couple of trucks upfitted to battery power tools. And what we've done, we keep like one ode set on the reserve, but we've surplus several of the ode sets already. We'll probably have one or two more that we might reserve.
well, I want to mention that fire science program at the CTC. If you have equipment that is still usable but not within your all's means or whatever, I'd really like to help them out any way we could.
What's the program?
That's fire science program.
Really?
Training young men.
At the Career Tech Center?
It's awesome.
Okay.
It's wonderful.
So maybe that's something to think about, Chief. If you all, it might even be worth you going up there to meet the instructor or something, but if you had some things that maybe were gonna be
See if there's
retired.
an option.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's a great idea.
Can we donate that?
I'm sorry?
Can we donate that to schools?
Government agencies. Yeah.
Sir?
School boards are governmental entities.
All I had here?
Yeah, just like the cars that the sheriff's gonna do. All right, next one. I'm sorry? Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Squire Sebastian.
Thanks, Judge. We donated the Lakeview Park Jeep Cherokee to the CTC.
Yep.
Don't forget, we did that last year.
Came in third last night.
Oh, they still running it?
It ran,
Yes.
yeah, it ran last year.
Really?
Was first in the first heat, but got beat, and this year it came in third.
Really? Nice. Thank you, Squire Sebastian. That's right. That it was just last year, so. Okay, Chief, how about the, gonna buy a boat?
So this one's actually authorization to reject the bid for the boat. We did a bidding process. We received one bid. That bid was well above what our budgeted amount was. So we were going to request authorization to reject that bid and then look at rebidding that process.
Alrighty. Next.
Next item is authorization to hire a firefighter. We have a resignation of a current employee going into effect next week. So we're looking to hire another one to replace that person.
Okay, perfect.
And then the person who's resigning was engineer. So with his resignation, we will look at promoting his position with the next person on the engineer's promotional list.
Okay. Any questions for the chief on these last couple items?
Thank you.
Thank you, Chief. I appreciate you being here tonight. Alrighty, Duke, you have one more with us?
Yes, sir. We'd like to, road department would like to request the court to authorize to hire Chase DeMoss as light equipment operator to fill a vacancy we have.
Alrighty. Any questions, concerns, comments for Duke on this new hire? Alrighty, thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Alrighty, and next, last but certainly not least, is my friend Gene, who's with us. So Gene, you have gone through this 2 hours of meeting. You've learned all kinds of things about the fiscal court.
Which is a good thing.
Yeah, so we are here to appoint somebody to your board.
Yes,
Yep.
we have 3 positions open, so.
Okay. Why don't you tell us a little bit about the library first? Because I know you all went through a little bit during the disaster.
Yeah, just a little bit, yeah. We are back functional. Everything that was adversely affected by the water has been repaired, replaced. We are in great shape. So all of our elevators are operational, yay. So we are in great shape. And again, I want to stress that the help with from the county and the city was wonderful. And the support that we've had in this community was just fantastic. We had people champing at the bit to get back into the building, which was very gratifying. So I can now add flood recovery to my resume.
Put it on your resume?
Yeah,
Well,
so,
professionally and
good.
personally.
Yes.
Because unfortunately, Jean was affected at her home.
yeah.
Yeah.
I live on Paul Sawyer Drive,
Yeah,
so,
yeah, so
yeah.
she's taking it on every
Yeah.
side right now, so,
so,
yeah, we're good. Alrighty, so we have 3 individuals in front of us, 2 of them who are currently serving. I believe they have 1 term under their belt, is that right, Jean, I believe?
that is correct.
Yeah,
1 term and a partial term.
yeah, I think
Yeah.
Shane Hecker had a partial term. And
Yep.
then I do want to do a shout out to Mary Lynn Collins. I think everybody knows her. I think she's finally said she's going to step down. She's served on that board as long as I can remember.
Long time.
Long
Yep.
time. I know she's super active, and I owe her money for the spelling bee for our team. That's why I'm thinking about her right now. She's coming after me for the Spellalooza. But
Yes.
yeah, we have a great person that was recommended very highly, Mark Overstreet, to fill her. He'll have big shoes to fill. So those are the 3 people in front of us tonight to round Jean's board out. Anyone have any concerns, comments, or anything? Or any questions about the library, or? Y'all do an amazing job. I appreciate how active you are in the community with the kids and everything. Every time I turn around, y'all are there and you're set up, and I think it makes a big difference.
Thank you.
Yeah, so, Squire Wisman.
Judge, if I could, because I've made a point of something, Gene, I was wanting to ask you just to go through a little bit of information, because we have 3 male appointees tonight.
Yes.
We've had some discussion about diversity of boards. Would you explain, you have, these are recommendations from you all.
From the
for
board,
us to
yes.
formally approve, and you have sort of a structure where you have advisory members, where some of these members are effectively in training to join the board in the
Yes.
future, right? So just, because if anybody were to look, we've got 3 male members we're appointing tonight, just if you could sort of talk about your structure a little bit.
Sure. We have, if these 3 members are appointed, we will have 3 males, 2 females. And we have an advisory board that is weighted heavily in the female side, so, and we do use that as like a training ground for the board. So we will have 2 positions opening up in subsequent years that we will use members from our advisory board to replace. So we do try to have a diverse, a good balance between male, female, age, experience, all of those things. And so the board very carefully considers who they want to recommend, and those recommendations have to go to KDLA. KDLA sends them to the Fiscal Court. And so they are carefully vetted and do have some experience by the time that they are appointed to the board in serving, so.
So at the end of the day, on these, Eric, when I, Squire Wisman, when I get the list, ultimately, it's my thing to bring it to you all, but because I respect Jean and her team, I call her, we have a conversation. We're very conscious of term limits, we don't want somebody to serve too long, and we just talk a little bit about everything. It's a current person, actual worker, active on the board, and so we just kind of go through everything, and I know other communities aren't as lucky to be able to do that. Other communities will just put people on there who they want on there, and it sometimes doesn't end well. So I appreciate the good working relationship that we have.
And as do I. That's really exemplary, I think, for the state. I really appreciate that your willingness to work with us to put good people in place to serve the community.
Absolutely, absolutely. Squire Tanner, do you have anything?
I have a question, and it's strictly probably meaningless, but I served with Overstreet on the Kentucky Retirement Board. Is this the same one?
Could be.
Could be.
He's an attorney. If Mr. Overstreet.
It's probably not. I think it's a retired state policeman, actually.
Okay, then he is not. Mark is an attorney who serves here.
I just curiosity.
Squire Sebastian.
Thank you, Judge. Squire Tanner, I was just going to say, Mr. Overstreet has served a number of terms on the board and is extremely familiar. He's been the board president for the library board in the past, so he's extremely familiar with the work of the library, and will do a really great job. Thank you.
Thank you, Squire.
I don't know anyone who has more passion for the library outside of myself than
That's
Mr.
a strong
Overstreet.
statement. Wow.
My sister's a librarian. What do you think?
I think that's a great thing.
All righty, thank you very much. We're
Thank
getting ready to get into voting session. All righty, next is other business. Anybody have any other business tonight? Squire Sebastian.
Thank you, Judge. I'm just trying to find out if we ever heard back from the Bluegrass ad regarding the updates to that workforce agreement with 17 counties, which came to us signed by 16 other counties / Lexington, Fayette, Urban County government. And this body had noted that there were some changes that needed to be made to really bring it into true compliance. I just didn't know if we'd heard back on that.
Yeah, we have. Tiffany was her name, Reeves, I believe. Yes, she contacted me, and they are working on a revised copy, and she has notified the other 16 counties that they will have to run this back through their courts. So when we get a draft of that, I'll send it out to the court.
Thank you.
Yep, absolutely. Alrighty, I just want to remind everybody it's Fair Week, so communities watching, get out there at the Lakeview Park and have some fun. So with that being said, we're gonna go start voting. We're going to vote session. So clerk, please call roll.
Squire Sebastian,
Here.
Squire Blackburn,
Present.
Squire Dykus, Squire Harrod,
Here.
Squire Tanner,
Here.
Squire Wisman,
Present.
Judge Mueller.
Present. Thank you, clerk. Authorization for approval of minutes from the regular meeting of June 30th, 2025.
Judge, I was just gonna, if I could say, Kelly texted and said, please just give everyone in the public her apologies that I came in a little late, she may have already said, but found out she didn't have cell phone service while vacationing and said just to extend the apologies to the community for her.
Yep, so Squire Dykus wanted to be here with us tonight, and she was planning on Zooming, but it didn't work out because of connection reasons, so thank you, Squire.
Second.
All right, so we have first and second. All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed say nay. Motion passes. Authorization to re-advertise for bids regarding upgrading the camera system within the jail.
So moved.
I'm not sure.
All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed say nay. Motion passes. Authorization to receive the county clerk's partial 2024 excess fees.
So moved. Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. Motion passes. Authorization to receive the county clerk's quarterly report ending June 30th, 2025.
So moved.
Second? All right. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. Motion passes. Authorization to approve a statewide emergency management mutual aid and assistance agreement.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. Motion passes. Authorization to approve a resolution authorizing the receipt of the funds from FEMA through receipt KYEM event number 4860DR-KY for cleanup recovery efforts by the Franklin County Road Department, Sheriff's Office, and contractors, and designating the county judge executive to execute all documents pertaining to this grant.
So moved.
Second?
I'll second that.
All right. All those in favor say aye. All those opposed say nay. Motion passes. Second reading and approval of an ordinance creating chapter, no. I need a motion to table this.
Judge, I'll motion to table.
Yep.
Second.
Indefinitely.
Okay, thank you. And a second from Squire Tanner. All those in favor of tabling this agenda item?
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed, nay. All right, it is tabled. Thank you, Squire. Got to write that down. Second reading and approval of amending the table of ordinances, section 1, zoning map changes of the Franklin County Code of Ordinances for a 7.67-acre portion of property located at 1373 Peaks Mill Road from Agriculture District AG to Rural Residential RR. The property is identified as PVA map numbers 072-00-00-107-09.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor say aye. All those opposed say nay. Motion passes. Second reading and approval of ordinance amending the table of ordinances, section 1, zoning map changes of the Franklin County Code of Ordinances for 135 acres of properties located at 650 Evergreen Road from rural residential to agriculture district AG. The property is identified as PVA maps number 025-00-00-064.00 and 025-00-00-064.02.
So moved.
Your district, Richard.
It's your district, Richard.
Second.
Second?
Was this second reading?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Do I have a second?
I second it.
Second.
All right, all those in favor say aye. All those opposed say nay. Motion passes. No vote will be taken at this time. This is the first reading and approval of an ordinance amending the table of special ordinances, section 1 zoning map changes of the Franklin County Code of Ordinances for a 5.00-acre portion of property located at 190 Democratic Drive from Professional Office District PO to General Industrial District IG. The property is identified as PVA map number 087-00-00-042.00. Next agenda item is another first reading, so no vote will be taken at this time. This is the first reading and approval of an ordinance amending the table of special ordinances, section 1 zoning map changes of the Franklin County Code of Ordinances for 1.75 acre tract located at 1120 Duckers Road from rural residential RR to general commercial district CG. The property is identified as a portion of the property described in Deed Book 507, page 574. The property is more specifically identified as Tract 1 as shown in the plat cabinet N, slide 71 in the office of the Franklin County Clerk. Authorization to approve a rate increase in the facility rental of the Hancock Pavilion to $80.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor say aye. All those opposed say nay. Motion passes. Authorization to approve a rate increase in the facility rental of the Robinson Pavilion to $60 even.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, motion passes. Authorization to approve a rate increase in the facility rental of the Farm Bureau Pavilion to 220.00 even.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. Motion passes. Authorization to approve road department equipment as surplus on govdeals.com.
Judge, I'll second, contingent upon adding the serial numbers, VIN numbers, or other identifying
Okay.
information.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. Motion passes. Authorization to award a fuel bid to Robinson Oil lowest bidder regarding undyed diesel fuel and dyed diesel fuel.
So moved.
Second.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
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 All those opposed, nay. Motion passes. Authorization to receive the treasurer's financial statement for fiscal year ending June 30th, 2025.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. Motion passes. Authorization to receive the treasurer's fourth quarter fiscal year financial statement report for the 12 months ending June 30th, 2025.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. Motion passes. Authorization to approve the payment of Kelly Dacus elected officials training incentive.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. Motion passes. Authorization to receive the treasurer's report.
So moved.
Second.
You get that, clerk?
Yes.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. Motion passes. Payment of claims. Is there a motion to deny any payment of claim? No motion was made. Let the record reflect claims are to be paid. Authorization to award a bid to Win Rescue Equipment, sole bidder for fire department excursion equipment.
So moved.
Second.
Kind of, sort of. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those negative, nay. Motion passes. Authorization to reject the bids for the fire department boat.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. Motion passes. Authorization to hire William Bourne as our new county firefighter.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. Motion passes. Welcome to the team, William. Authorization to approve a promotion of Chris Tolles to rank of engineer.
So moved.
Second.
You get that, clerk?
Yes.
All those in favor say aye.
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 All those opposed say nay. Motion passes. Congratulations, Chris. Authorization to hire Chase DeMose as a light equipment operator driver.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
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 All those opposed say nay. Motion passes. Welcome to the team, Chase. Authorization to approve the board reappointment of Shane Hecker to the Paul Sawyer Public Library with a term ending June 30th, 2028.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. Motion passes. Authorization to approve the board reappointment of Rob Kellerman to the Paul Sawyer Library Board with a term ending June 30th, 2029.
So moved.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. Motion passes. Authorization to approve the board appointment of Mark Overstreet to the Paul Sawyer Public Library with a term ending June 30th, 2029.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed say nay. Motion passes. So I do want to thank Shane, Robert Kellerman, and Mark Overstreet for serving on the Sawyer Public Library. It's very important to have good people in those positions that care. I also want to publicly thank Mary Lynn Collins for all of her years of service with the library. So she will be missed, but she's still going to be there, I'm sure. So motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor say aye. All those opposed say nay. We're adjourned. Thank you, Court.